Hello everybody and welcome back to the Anne of Green Gables anime. Today we're doing Diana is Invited to Tea.
And weird stuff happens, but that's not the title of the
episode. Well, the chapter of the book is Diana is Invited to Tea with tragic results. So
let's see how the story tackles accidental underage drinking.
No worry, Theo. He handles it actually pretty well. All right.
I can imagine. Let's see.
All right, so you guys know how it is. 3, 2, 1, click. In the meantime, let me get the book real quick.
Has this book series got any live action adaptations, like, back in the 80s or 90s?
1985, Jova. There's a 1985 movie. Well, like I said, it was originally a 2-part miniseries where each part was 90 minutes, but nowadays when they were released, it just released as a 3-hour movie because they were shot as a 3-hour movie, basically.
That's because I'm beginning to wonder if I may have seen that adaptation in school, because
it is possible.
Okay, as you recall, last episode I called the whole thing about how the tea session would go and how that would mean she would probably be not allowed to see her friend until she does something like, I don't know, cure her best friend's little sister or something, because I feel like I've seen that scenario but in live action somewhere.
No. This anime aside, the 1985 movie was the best adaptation up until that point, so I'm not surprised that it was more exposed. I'm
beginning to wonder if that's what I saw, but I just did not know the name of the media.
The main issue of that adaptation, at least for me, don't get me wrong, the adaptation is okay. My main issue with that adaptation is that because they're trying to squeeze everything in 3 hours, they have to cut out they cut out the entirety of Anne's history chapter, okay, the chapter where Anne and Marilla are going in through that path and Anne tells her entire life. They literally skip through that chapter. I'm not even kidding. Sure, I can vouch for what I'm saying.
Fair, in a movie, you could consider that a necessary sacrifice, but what I'm saying is, like, I'm beginning to wonder if that is what I saw back then in school.
So you're having kind of a Mandela effect.
Bunny!
We don't know for sure if it is a Mandela effect, because it may very well have been it, but...
it's actually not out of the possibility, because that particular version airs on TV a lot, so... I mean, it was meant for TV to begin with. So.
Yes, Canada with the most Canadian of accents.
Again, maybe if Canada got off their asses and made something about this, we wouldn't need to use the South Africans.
With Scott McNeil as the narrator.
Hell! Get Annabeth McNulty to voice Anne in an English dub, aka the actress for Anne of N.E.
For a lot of companies, it does that in terms of what they should market.
Not really. She loves it, as you can see.
Don't you burn them? Probably. Those tend to be useful for starting a fire.
Dry leaves, maybe, but usually when you're indoors, we just use logwood for the fireplace.
Enough.
Like, dry leaves are usually something you use outdoors to start a fire.
One of my vacation houses had a fireplace, but we always used papers to start, so I cannot tell.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. With that shot there, I thought someone was gonna throw something through a window.
Okay. This looks simple enough.
What could possibly go wrong?
Oh, yes, and by the way, do not let any other mice scurry into the food again. Yeah,
I felt that.
Past experience with mice too.
No, you know me, Jova. I tend to be more tolerant towards them.
Oh, well, do you prefer mice or rats?
Well, either like again, the basic idea is that that.
Just
Oh
tell you.
Jesus!
She doesn't stop. Criminy, she doesn't stop. You're not even doing what I asked you right now.
And then the house burns down.
Well, there you go. She's carrying the wood.
Oh, maybe the wood's for the stove, possibly.
Well, for multiple things, but yeah, one of them. One of those is that. Yes.
Well, I mean, I'm only saying that because that's what she asked her to do, like, now.
Yeah.
So. Fruitcake.
My God, girl.
You're literally, as we say in my country, you're literally singing and playing on your own the tune.
So, sure. A question: how did your first time having tea with a friend end up? Hopefully better. Hopefully better than Anne's, as we know from the book chapter name.
Well, as much as media likes to portray it, didn't really have tea parties as children.
Well, I'm not saying a tea party. Like just have a nice tea. Like as in you're drinking tea and you're talking, because that's what they're planning to do anyway.
Fine, I guess.
I get the idea that it wasn't particularly memorable.
I mean, I'm just drinking tea.
But Shira, don't you see, as Anne says, drinking tea with your best friend is such a romantic affair.
I'm a Brit. It's a very common affair.
Well, not for her, as you know. So.
I know.
She's Canadian.
Hey.
I recognize the feel of your hands on my face. Okay?
How you recognize that is quite questioning, child.
Probably because she's much older than her little sister, so her hands are going to be much bigger.
Most likely.
Maybe Diane is
Very
not.
perceptive.
Maybe Diane is not as good at this game as your typical person. I don't know. I love this particular bit here.
Hooray.
Oh, what a delightful day. I can't see anything possibly going wrong.
That's the thing, Jova. Something.
And I made it despite your directions.
That's the thing, Jova. For one, the interesting thing to Jova is that this time, for once, what goes wrong is actually not Anne's fault, as we'll see later.
See, Jova, they mentioned an occasion where the crop was disappointing. There you have it.
I do like one detail that I do like that Takata had. It was, of course, the fact that earlier Diana was helping her mother with by cleaning that shoe, you know, and combined with the fact that they even go get the apples themselves. Like I do like this detail that the girls have no problem in doing some physical stuff herself. It's, like with Anne, is of course obvious because Anne has always been with her upbringing. It's not surprising, but Diana also because in the book the way she's written in the book, it makes it she you probably assume that she'll be just your typical rich girl who's not used to physical labor. But so I do not like that extra detail that well, she is rich, Jova. So
I mean, I guess she never struck me as rich because
For the standards of the place, Jova.
Well, that's the thing. Even with how she's dressed, that's like how medium class people normally dressed or whatnot. Like, I never got the sense that she was super rich or whatnot.
Well, the book establishes the Barrys as wealthy. I can tell you that. They don't say filthy, stinking rich millionaires, but they do say wealthy.
Well, all the same, I'm not too surprised seeing as how we have seen her do work around, and yeah, that totally looks like a proper bottle to drink from.
To her credit, she doesn't. She's new to the whole this thing, so.
And Marilla did suggest some sort of cherry drink, and I guess that looks cherry enough.
Mm-hmm. All right, here's an interesting thing. Drunk Diana is very similar to drunk Dwibs, actually. So there you go. Now you get to see how you are when you're drunk. Basically, how Diana is about to get.
Ah, crap.
I can imagine why, sweetie.
Yes. Now don't get hooked on it. I'm sorry, what? Famous last words. Also, not for nothing, but don't you think Marilla might be concerned if you drink all of it? Maybe she wants some for herself later on.
Well, she will actually bring up actually, Jova. So you can wait for that for later.
Is she gonna knock the glass?
Well, she seems to be fine so far.
Okay, here's something you can do to avoid any confusion. Label them.
That's actually a good point, potentially.
Maybe it being on a high shelf was supposed to be the hint, but, and legit wouldn't know the difference.
Also, the sheer info commercials these days have to always mention for products that should not be consumed by children, to keep it away from their reach. It's probably because a lot of people forget.
In the meantime,
and it's probably because of incidents like this.
In the meantime, I've just skimmed a bit through the book chapter. No real trivia that I can offer. It's basically straightforward.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is she gonna be a sad drunk? No.
No, she's not a sad drunk. No, she's a very, very laughing drunk, much like Dwibs.
Again, she's had quite a bit already for a child her age and no signs of drunkenness yet. She's got quite a tolerance.
She can tank it.
I don't know, looking at her face every time she sips, as the episode progresses is...
We here at Square Comms must obviously stress that children should not have alcohol.
well, don't worry, Dwibs. The show itself...
Is that like the joke from DBZ Bridge, however we find it?
No.
The show itself makes that point, as you'll see, Dwibs, so don't worry.
I'm more curious to hear these voice actors. I need to do during child impression.
I actually really like... again, I don't know if it's the same actress that plays Anne, but she does a good job with the giggling, as you're about to see.
Oh boy. Yeah, you look
she's left for a better place, and leave her be.
Does anyone mention that you look pretty with that red wig on? Oh, son of ya. Well, What's Chappy? I don't know why.
I regret everything.
Dweebs, never do.
It is my belief that all drunks are on some similar wavelength than mine.
All right, now she's about to get to this laughing phase. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
You got my daughter drunk!
Actually, that's exactly what Mrs. Barry's reaction is going to be. Yes, actually.
Okay.
You know, Brain Chill actually did an episode
Even his
about
reaction was like,
underage
yeah,
drinking.
cool story.
Please don't let her fall in the lake.
Well, maybe cold water is what she needs to get,
I think her dress getting wet would only make her mother even more mad, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you kind of fucked up.
James,
What have I
done?
Why didn't you take her directly to the door?
Well, she did say, yeah. She doesn't quite know what went wrong. She doesn't know what went wrong yet, but she feels there's something wrong. Not to mention, she was the one that gave her the thing, so...
Well, if what I predicted
God
is...
understands your pain, child. These are a company whatever.
Well, if what I predicted comes to pass, then won't that mean that she'll also eventually get forbidden from seeing her as well, eventually?
To Mrs. Barry's credit, what would your reaction be in her place, Jova?
Yeah.
Yeah.
However...
Breathe, Anne, breathe!
Christ, Dad, if you're quiet so more, we don't need the rain.
Please. Let's see. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
It's all I can do but
The
just laugh at
Schadenfreude
these
is kicking in
hydrants.
again.
Hold on.
Oh, so you have in your own moonshine.
Oh.
So there you go. It was actually because Marilla
Didn't label it like we mentioned.
didn't label it, yeah.
Yeah. Dairy is not good for people who are drunk. Unless you don't have milk in your tea.
Clearly, Shira, you should be the one teaching Anne about tea, having tea.
See, there goes my
That's what
happy
you're
hour.
upset about.
Priorities.
I suppose-
Label your shit, Marilla.
Oh my god, maybe that was the old thing I saw back then, because this reminds me of dialogue from that bit with
Yeah, the
Frank
movie.
Strong.
Yeah, that movie adapts this part. Yes. So it is possible. Yes.
Huh. So I may have known about the end of the Green Gables story well before this. I just didn't know what it was called. Will she?
That's nice.
The facts of the case. This is a Ace Attorney game, then.
Well, like Shirzal said, this was all technically Marilla's fault. So yeah, Marilla has no problem in going over there and setting things straight.
Why do I get the feeling it won't be that easy?
Well, if it was that easy, it wouldn't really. It would be too easy. So yeah.
And calm down.
I swear, ever since I've taken this child in, I've been getting a lot of new perspective of the people I hang around. What the hell is going on with my life?
That's the thing, Job. It's an interesting point you bring, because before bringing Anne in, Marilla, both Marilla and Matthew, outside of, and Marilla only really had Rachel, and she didn't interact with much of anyone aside from Rachel, because she just stays there in the farm all day doing housework, and similar thing for Matthew. So yeah, that actually.
And he's essentially a proxy for when to socialize. It does remind me a bit more also of Pollyanna. It's a story with similar themes.
Go away!
Oh, poor Anne.
Alright, slow down!
Be funny if she just slams the door in her face.
I should go. Damn. Well,
Christ. Alright, so we found the new worst above in this show.
Okay, even though it is true that she's being a bit unreasonable, well, okay, yes, she is.
To be fair, it's parental overprotectiveness. Like, try having a kid of your own, and you will see that a lot of stuff can get magnified here. Look, now we know for sure that she is, not going about this the best way, but it's her daughter, and alcohol is definitely something that seriously could have gotten her killed.
if she's really that worried, she would actually request that every time Anne is with Diana, that another adult is in the same room at the same time. You know, it doesn't seem to be that much of a far out to say.
Well,
It also has to
Well, from
detail.
what
It also has to detail with the fact that, well, yeah, Marilla probably would do something like that, considering how sensible she is. Not everybody's as sensible as Marilla, though.
Well, that's Diana out of the show.
Portrayal of life, and in life there are plenty of unreasonable people.
Mm-hmm.
I do get where the mother's coming from, but she's definitely being unreasonable.
Mm-hmm. So basically, it's both things. Again, but there you go.
So what shenanigans will happen next?
Oh.
So there you go. In the next episode, Anne finally decides to return to school.
Just
So
to
that
see
you can
Diana, basically.
Pretty much, Shiroi. Yes.
Brilliant.
So there you go. So there you go, Shiroi. That's one plotline we're taking advantage of this to resolve the other plotline at least. See, so we're moving things along. All right. So that was Diane is invited to tea with tragic results. Jova, since you're the one who...
Again, I called this episode, and it's not just because I may or may not have seen the 1985 adaptation as a kid, but because I've seen this sort of thing done before, loads of times. And again, like I said, it'll probably be, she eventually does something that helps save someone in the family from a sickness or something, and then the mother will see that she was wrong and then let her hang out with Diana again eventually.
Yeah, pretty much. It is.
Overall, good episode. Good episode.
Sure, Shiroi.
Yeah, again, I understand, this was unfortunate, but, it is what it is. And,
It does.
Yeah.
It does feel like the mother is kind of out for a bit of petty revenge there with how vindictive it is.
Yeah, considering the way Marilla talks about it.
She's doing it. She's taking it out on a bloody child.
It seems the way she's talked about it, she seems to have an ongoing problem with Marilla in general. For that, and the other.
I can tell you it's not that, sure. She's just really angry about the fact that this even happened. And like Jova said, it is one. We also have to remember. Jova brought up a really good point. We have to remember that we're looking at this from the outside. If you had a child of your own and this happened to you, are you absolutely sure that you will be 100% objective and reasonable with your reaction? Because it's very nice to say this when you're from the outside, but when you're actually experiencing something like this, it's a whole nother thing altogether. So
I think that's what we pretty much all agree on. So,
Again, and again, this is an attempt to portray life in a real way, and in real life, there's plenty of unreasonable people who unfortunately don't deal with things the best way. And Diane and Mrs. Barry happens to be one of them, clearly.
But that's it. This was really good, and we'll see how it goes.
Dwips.
So this episode's pretty much adults suck. Well, some adults suck the episode with the world's pettiest mother, and to be honest, Merelda doesn't exactly come out of this glowing either. All she had to do was label the bloody thing. I don't think paper's that expensive.
Okay, to Marilla's credit, she'd been living most of her life without a child in there, and I think as far as she knew, she didn't have to worry about Anne mistaking that for this because they'd never run into that trouble.
Not to mention
It doesn't help that they were both cherry flavored.
To mention that she specifically stated that she even forgot that was even there because it was there for years at that point. So
age and all that.
It was all just an unfortunate accident / mistake, which happens.
Here's the way to tell them apart. Give one of them a little taste, and then you can tell which one's the alcohol and which one isn't.
Well, an adult will be able to do that, but two ignorant children who don't know the first thing about this would not be able to do that.
I meant Merelda.
Marilla, you mean? Well, like I said, again,
I think Marilla already knows which is which.
She generally just forgot to do that.
Which again happens. Again, we have to.
I'd say the only one who's really out of order is the mother, and like I said, I get where she's coming from. When you're a parent, that sort of stuff gets magnified in your eyes, especially if your kid is in danger of dying.
Yeah, because like Jova said, she could have this could have gone horribly wrong for Diana. So So while it is true that she's being petty, I can at the very least understand why she would be so overreactive about this because
Yeah, and I just heavily disagree with the mother taking out her pettiness with another adult onto a child.
Well, Dwips, like yourself,
we all do.
We all do. We all do. I mean, if we want to be honest about how we portray Latvians, we have to show the ugly side of it too.
Anyway, no, it's again pretty interesting how we tackle this particular kind of issue. Like the others said, the direction of the mother is overbearing. Unlike the others, I do not really see where she's coming from because, like I said, their overbearing is essentially taking over potential rationality. I do accept that people like this exist. I still don't condemn that kind of in-universe stupidity, you know.
Oh yeah.
But that's pretty much it.
That's what makes this show great. The fact that we actually have to get this conversation, that alone makes this great. Like,
oh god damn it, Shiri's BRB every time I mention 30 Reasons Why. I wonder why. But no, it's basically like 30 Reasons Why was wanting to do. Let's start a conversation.
But no, that's when you can tell that something is a great piece of, like with Clockwork Orange. We get to discuss the merits of, okay, so was it right to take away Alex's free will or not? Well, depends on who you ask. Same thing here.
But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. We'll see how this pans out in the next episodes.
Yeah, so join us for the next episode. Anne says, "Fuck you, mum."
See you, everybody.
Bye.